All right. Well, hello. It's Transformation Tuesday again for December 10th, 2024. Let's take a deep breath into this moment, this beautiful moment in time where we're taking the time out to tune in to what is yearning to be brought about in this time we call Transformation Tuesday. And we've been doing this every week since March of 2020. We bring in guest speakers and different topics to shift and uplift the entire planet. I love the planet behind me, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And so for this, every month we have a different topic. And this month we kicked it off last week, and we'll be working all month long on this book, In Tune with the Infinite by Ralph Waldo Trine. Let's just take a little note on what this title means, In Tune with the Infinite, and why we would even be drawn to a book like this or to a title like this. For me, it was like, okay, things are busy, things are growing, paradigms are popping, and the phonetic energy is starting. Well, it has been. It's been building up there in the common hour world, as well as for me, in my internal world. And so that's why, on purpose, I can focus in on a little chapter, a little thing in this particular book. I really love it. Before we start, I want to read from the Daily Word for Tuesday, December 10th. So, whatever it is you're doing, just listen to this affirmation, and then we're going to kick it off with Rajika. Okay, the affirmation for today is I grow in love when I cherish the people and all life on earth. I cherish the myriad expressions of life on this earth, including my own. I open my heart and nurture my fellow divine beings and all creatures with loving kindness. As I look upon creation with soft eyes, I love generously, without expectations of reciprocation or other response. I love as God loves, unconditionally and without judgment. I think that's so perfect. And then, so I wanted to read something that struck me in this chapter 4 that Rajika is going to come in here and talk more about with her experience. This really stood out for me because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in this thing we call DEFCON 1, where my health is breaking down, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, things aren't going as fast as I want them to, my body disintegrates. And
Mm.
that's when I want to read this little part. Okay. Do you mean to say, I hear it asked, that the body can be changed from a disease to a healthy condition through the operation of the interior forces? Most certainly, and more, this is the natural method of cure. The method that has worked at its the method that has as its work the application of drugs, medicine, and external agencies is the artificial medicine. The only thing that any drug or medicine can do is to remove obstructions that the life forces may have simply a better chance to do their work. And here's the parentheses. The real healing process must be performed by the operation of the life forces within. Woo. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Rajika Mahan, who's a colleague of mine, and come on in and tell us how this chapter is. A little bit about your life. I know that you're a beautiful mom and all kinds of things. So come on in here, and it's all yours.
Well, thank you, Judy, and thank you for our listeners and who is watching this. And it is truly my pleasure to be with Judy. Judy is definitely is my colleague, but she inspires me every day in her journey and in her growth. So thank you for inviting me on your beautiful platform. Um, I'm a mom of three. I've been married for 33 years this month, and it's been a journey for me, um, especially as I look at ways that I was going through life really in the place of struggle, a place of struggle, and being in the place trying to force and manipulate and really construct things from my awareness. And I started to shift my awareness of this work really when I got introduced to my mentor. And it was a time that I was kind of going through a really difficult time in my personal life, struggling in my relationship. My health was deteriorating. And that was when I really started to consider this work of in tuning with the infinite. Now, my grandmother was a, a person who really deeply believed in God, and she raised me. I was raised by a single mom and my brother and I, and my mom was pretty much, working all the time. She was providing for us. So our mentor or our guiding light was my grandmother. And she always used to remind me that with God, anything is possible. With God, anything is possible. And as I came into my own adult life, into my own circumstances and my challenges, I always heard that whisper in my mind, in my ear, that with God, anything is possible. And it was a reminder for me to really connect with the infinite, with God, with universe, whatever that name is, that there is a guiding source or there's a guiding light for us to really connect even deeply. Um, so going back to, I was having a really difficult time. It was about 18 years um of of challenge in my relationship. And that's when I used to hear those whispers of connect to the source. He has the answers. And that's when I started to really lean in to receiving guidance because I was living in that place of, I got to figure life out. I got to do this on my own. And it used to go a little bit for, have some steps, but then it used to go back into that place of frustration and struggle. And as I started to really connect with the infinite or God or universe, it brought me into the awareness of that I'm going through this challenge for a particular reason. It is for my growth or evolution, as our mentor will say, is that it's bringing something for me. And for the longest time, I did not see the good for myself. So I would have those sleepless nights. I would be struggling. I was in perhaps even sometimes in deep depression. I didn't want to tend to my kids because I was just in this place of life is happening to me. And so it is so wonderful that as you brought this topic of in tune with the infinite, it really has taught me on so many levels in my life is the lesson of, yes, I can take the action or I can do the things that are in my awareness, but I must open my hands for guidance, for answers, and that for me, I believe in Krishna. So he has the answers for me. He does have the answers. Um, and it has really served me. And as I deepen my faith, as I go into my faith and really deepen my own believe that this guiding light is serving me, and it is creating that path. And whatever that path is, it could be rocky, it could be a little bit of struggle, it could be a challenge, but I know beyond that there's a good in it.
Wow. Wow. I want to go back to, I love what you just said. It's that getting in touch and in tune. And could you tell us maybe a specific time or like that, boom, you were out of tune? And I love what you, where I want to go back. You said you're not tending to your kids. And boy,
Mhm.
I remember that in my life as well, too. And then, boy, that's when all the school stuff came out, all that stuff. And I just wasn't present because I was not,
Mhm.
I just wasn't. And if somebody would said, "What are you doing for your self care?" I would have no clue what that meant. I mean, obviously, it's changed something. So, can you bring
Yes.
back to that instance where maybe you were at your lowest, and what was going on at the time? What made you want to change?
Yeah. Um, so at that time it was family dynamics. We were living in a joint family. I grew up in India, so one of our customs is to live in a joint family, and so we were living in a joint family. But it was a time where I had people in my life who were not very kind, and I was struggling myself in my own self-esteem, self-confidence. And the only thing I knew to do was to do more, to give more, to really be that people pleaser all the time. And so when I meant by when I did not tend to my kids was because I was looking, what could I do more so they would appreciate me? What could I do more of that they could appreciate me? And in turn, I started to notice as I reflect back that I didn't my kids needed mom as well, but I wasn't attending to them. I was attending to the needs of people because I wanted to make them happier. And what really changed, and I can remember this moment that I was standing, and I have a little temple in my home, and I was standing in front of the my temple, and I was praying, and I asked for guidance. I said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Please show me a path. It has to get better from here. And I didn't know that. 6 months, I would go back to my temple and ask, there must be what is the reason that this is happening to me? And that was the time when as I would go in, there would be signs or they that was the time kind of I will say when I was standing at the temple and I was asking this question, I can still vividly remember. I almost felt like there was a hand behind me, but it's okay. And that's my interpretation. It's kind of was the hand of, I will say God, saying, oh, it's okay. I got you. I got you. And that day, something internally shifted that I knew internally that I wanted that feeling again. So I started to go back to my temple every day to connect. And things started moving, things started unfolding. I got curious with what was that? What was that feeling of that hand behind my back? I had never felt that before. And that curiosity of what was that? started to um the wheels started to turn in my mind. And then I remembered my grandmother. Maybe it was my grandmother's hand. I don't know. Maybe it was her, it was Krishna, I don't know. But from that day, I knew something in me that I didn't have to go through this journey alone. And that's what really started to shift a lot in my own journey, that no, life is not happening to me. These these people in my life are the way they are because they are not happy. They're not what whatever was happening there was that it wasn't because it was me. Yeah. Yeah. Um and so it's been a it's been a journey for the past 8 years of really learning more about this and really trusting that he is the doer, he is the giver, he is the taker. And as I built that faith within me more and more, things started to unfold in ways that I couldn't imagine. I will tell you, my relationships with those current people started to shift. They became kinder towards me. They started to ask me, what did I want? Why are you unhappy? What's going on with you? And it was really because I believe it was because through that, as I would go to the temple, internally things were shifting. And maybe it was letting go and embracing more and more of what you said, the love, the love. It was hard, Judy. It was hard many days when you are in a place where you're disrespected, you're not acknowledged, you are almost dismissed in your own house. Yeah.
Wow, I love it. So I love it. You touched on some really, well, thank you for your story. And the vulnerability sometimes for me, I'll look at people like now and like, oh, they've always been like that. And you hear their stories of like, this is work. This is like the work. The work shows. And I would like to invite everyone who's possibly watching this. It doesn't even matter if you're watching it on Tuesday or next summer. Like, where is your temple?
Mm.
I love the fact that you have a temple in your home. And the other thing that you said I feel is key, every day, every day, every day, go and get in touch and in tune. Sometimes for me, it's every hour, like, what's going on here? Every day. And that, where is your temple? It could be your temple is outside in nature. It could be, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's between you and you where your temple is. And we're talking about this temple that we call our body, and all of the different places where it might be out of alignment with your temple, your body temple. And how often are you willing to go into your temple, wherever that is, and get quiet and ask those questions? I love the questions that you ask. Getting curious. Stay curious. Yeah. So I love those tools that you just kind of boop, boop, boop. Just wanted to highlight those tools. Where's your temple?
Yeah.
The curiosity, right?
Mm.
And how often are you going? So you said 8 years, 8 years now. Now tell us some of the results, because we're talking about results formula, right? Your
Yeah.
thoughts,
Yeah.
your feelings, your action, your action obviously was to take your body into a quiet space temple. And then there's these
Yes.
results. But I would love to, and guess what? It's not just for you, it's for all these generations to come. I really love the fact that you talked about your grandmother. And
Mm,
I have like two very strong grandmothers who, I could do anything and stuff, and I can go, and they would like go,
yeah.
"You okay?" Especially when I was out there, I was like, I remember when my grandmother passed away. She lived with us. I love the fact too that you're talking about the your family's living. It's not just this family. That my grandmother lived with us. Um, After my grandfather died, and she came, and that was the best time for me because she would be up there, and whenever I was getting into trouble, I knew I could go up there and just sit with her, and she would go, you, you're okay, you're okay, because I think she saw something in me that I didn't see for sure. Nobody around me did, but it was very special to me, that relationship. So yeah, tell us more. I would love to hear more. Like now, you are of a certain age, and now you have grown children. Tell us what that's about now, and how often you go to your temple now.
Oh my gosh. So, well, I go to my temple every day, multiple times a day. And it's really from what has happened for me now is to really look at a challenge or situation, but really go back to my temple and just even I do my prayers in the morning and I do them at night. And in the morning, I'm really being in this place of gratitude. Thank you. And my three things that I'm always grateful that I woke up, my family as well, they woke up, my mom woke up this morning, and just being in that I'm in presence of Krishna. And then in the evening when I go and I want to put the lights off in my temple, I again just say thank you. Thank you for the day. Thank you for the people I'm able to support and help them to see the light within themselves. And that's kind of my evening prayer as I kind of put the lights off and, put the close my temple in the evening. And as you had asked, right, what are the results? I mean, the results for me has been uh deepening my own self-belief and self-confidence within myself. That has been the biggest journey for me in the 8 years. As I grew up as from my mom was a single mom in India, shunned from her own family. I was sent to boarding school because she couldn't really take care of us, my brother and me. There was a big gap of not belonging. And this journey that I have done has really instilled in me and created my belief that I do belong. I do belong and I matter. Yeah. Apologies for the tears, but um, that has been my pillar through the 8 years. And when I do the work with others, that's what I bring into the space. That they matter and they belong. And so what my kids have really seen, beauty, my kids, as you know, the kids nowadays they will not miss a word. And so my kids always come and tell me, they say, "Mom, you're such a happier mom now than you were when we were growing up." Yeah,
Dream achieved.
it has been a dream achieved. Yeah, definitely a dream achieved.
Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. Well, let's take a deep
yeah.
breath in here. And, it's always a good transformation Tuesday when there's tears involved. So and I would love to have us put that energy with what you just said of you matter. And we'll put it out to the entire globe. At this time in history, 2024, I used to say we need it now more than ever, but we've always needed it. And you're such a light. So what a beautiful story. And what I would love to ask you now is, our community of paradigm shifters, Transformation Tuesday, we want to put a blessing on you and ask you, Rajika, what would you love to have us hold for you and your growingness? 8 years, just the beginning, right?
Yes, yes,
What would
yes.
you love to have us hold for you? What would you love?
We would love for the community to hold that as we come across somebody, interact with them, to see them in that childlike curiosity as a 5-year-old, love them for who they are, give them grace, extend grace, not give them, extend grace to them, and know that they're put in your path for your own growth, for your own growth. And I would love for the community to hold love, peace, acceptance, inclusion, everyone, everyone, the ones which are skilled and the ones which are not skilled as well, because they are put in our path for that reason.
All right, so whole, we're going to send energy your way and you're the receiver. Okay, we are all over the world and we're sending it to Virginia, where you are, because you're the light of Virginia. So here we go. I'm going to get this energy going. You're a receiver. Ready? Poosh. The world to you and blessing you and keeping you on this journey. Yeah. And what a light. Thank you so much. This is so perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rajika, for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you, Judy. And thank you again for being my colleague and shining the light for all of us. So I so appreciate you. And even on all our Zoom calls, I always go and look, where is Judy? What is she up to today? So I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.